Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Thursday edition of Palmetto Sports Daily. I'm Rick Henry in Columbia. We got Tegan Brown on the golf course down in Myrtle Beach. Ella Grogan joins us from Greenville, and Kevin Bilodeau from Charleston. We're going to start off today with some troubling news that we got yesterday about former Gamecock quarterback Stephen Garcia. He's been diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. He's undergoing chemotherapy. He was diagnosed after spending some time. He went to the ER. They did a battery of tests, and that's when they discovered that he does have colon cancer. He started chemotherapy yesterday. His doctors are going to use the most aggressive treatment plan in dealing with this, and then he's going to be consulting with specialized liver and colon surgeons to determine the next step in the treatment plan. And Stephen's focus is now dedicated to one thing, just fighting this disease with everything that he has. And last night we were able to talk to USC head football coach Shane Beamer, who was able to talk to Stephen yesterday.
I called him, you don't know what to expect, but he was in, regular Stephen Garcia mode when I talked to him earlier. Just that fighting mentality and toughness, and gonna kick this thing's butt, and very convicted and determined, and that's who he is was as a player and is as a person. Told him to attack this thing with the same mindset that he's attacked everything, going back to when he was a player here and still is now as a human being, and told him, I got his back, and we all have his back, and just, praying hard for him right now.
So I'm certain a lot of fans are setting up prayers for Stephen Garcia as he, now he's really in the battle of his life. Kevin?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking for Stephen Garcia because he has become just such a part of Gamecocks lore over the past 20 years. He was really the first big-name recruit that Steve Spurrier brought in when he took over at South Carolina, and he was a guy that had so many expectations, didn't deliver on all of them, but of course he's got that one iconic moment with the win over Alabama over at Williams-Brice Stadium, maybe the best regular season win in South Carolina history, you could argue. So he's always going to have that lore with him, and, just one of the iconic personalities of South Carolina Gamecocks lore over the past, 2 decades, if not longer. So, like you said, I know all Gamecocks Nation is pulling for this guy. It's scary because this is the same kind of cancer that killed the actor James Vanderbeek earlier this year. That was the first thing I saw when it was the type of cancer that was released. So I saw that when he was diagnosed, it was stage 3. And like you said, Garcia's is stage 4. So it's really scary stuff. And I know, like I said, all of Gamecock Nation is thinking of him, Ella.
Yeah, you both mentioned it. Those prayers are coming in heavy from all of Gamecocks Nation, and specifically another standout guy with the Gamecocks, Connor Shaw, who also had a really scary health scare just about a year ago when he had sudden cardiac arrest at his son's flag football game. A guy who's been through these health scares before. We talked to him here at Fox Carolina this morning about what Garcia is going through, and he said this. I'm going to read it from my phone. If there's anything I know about Stephen, it's that he is a stubborn, resilient fighter. I hate that he has to fight this fight, but he's a warrior. Lots of people are praying for his recovery and lifting his spirits from someone who has defeated some stacked health odds. I know miracles happen, and he's got this with the help of Jesus and his family. What an inspiration from a guy who has been in a very similar situation, Rick. I mean, the Gamecocks family is clearly surrounding Stephen.
Yeah, the last time I really talked to Stephen in person, he was with Connor Shaw. We were out one night. It was a going-away party for someone, and the two of them showed up together. And so I'm talking to Stephen because he is one of my all-time favorite Gamecocks. Now, because some people may find this hard to believe, but he was one of the politest people I've ever dealt with in a Gamecock football program. And it was just, those times when he was out having fun where, maybe he got himself into a little bit of trouble. But his wife was there that night. And so we were talking. Stephen was telling me how much he appreciated my coverage over the years. And I told him, hey, how I felt about him and how, he was one of the most polite people I've ever dealt with over at USC. And he said, would you tell my wife that? I know she wouldn't believe it. So I told her, and I hope she believed it. But that's one of my, one of my favorite memories of Stephen Garcia, what he was like behind the scenes there at USC. Kevin?
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of one-on-one time with Stephen Garcia during his time as a quarterback at South Carolina, but there was a couple of instances where he would come down to the Low Country and run quarterback camps along with Perry Orth, another former Gamecock quarterback. And one year, this was probably about 7 years ago, he was up at Somerville holding a camp, and it was pouring down rain. We saw the video there. He was doing the camp barefoot for some apparent reason. He just wanted to feel the grass between his feet that day, he told me. And I was asking him, what's the biggest thing? That's the video right there. What's the biggest thing he learned from Steve Spurrier that he's trying to pass along to these kids? And he breaks into an amazing Spurrier impression just right off the bat. He just goes, well, you got to have a plan. You can't just go out there and just sling the ball around. You got to have a plan when you're throwing the ball. So, and Perry just started laughing, and the kids were all around. They started laughing. So just a drop dead fantastic impression. It was one of my favorites I've ever seen of Steve Spurrier. So, like you said, Rick, just a classy guy, so funny, got into some trouble, during his time at Carolina, but still one of the better guys we've had a chance to talk to there.
And another thing that I respect about Stephen is his honesty about how he messed up, because he has told me several times that, yeah, he was a knucklehead. He got himself into trouble. So in that regard, he can be an example, a role model, especially for young kids. Hey, don't get yourself into trouble. Just try to be the best person that you can. But anyway, prayers up to Stephen Garcia and his family. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Palmetto Sports Daily. I am out here at the Dunes Golf and Beach Club, where the third annual One Flight Myrtle Beach Classic kicked off this morning, teed off, I should say. And as we're doing the show right now, tournament play is still happening. By the time that you guys are watching this, the day will pretty much be wrapping up. But I will point out Brooks Koepka, a guy that we talked about a lot yesterday as we were prepping for today and kind of throughout the week. He's out here competing in this, his return to the PGA from the Live Tour, a couple of, things there that he has to do because of it. But he's out here today hoping to make a big difference. He's done for the day, for day one. He finished 3 under. As we record this, he's tied for 11th, but again, the standings are going to move. So it's been, a fairly good day out here on the course play-wise. However, weather-wise, guys, I mean, when we were getting ready to record right here, it was downpouring and then sprinkling and then downpouring again. Right now, it's sprinkling just a little bit, but still a very exciting day to be out here at the One Flight Myrtle Beach Classic. But Ella, I know that there is some other golf action happening this week too.
There is, yes. Myself and Carmine were hanging out over in Charlotte at the Quail Country Club. That was awesome, but I understand your pain. It was pouring on us all day long. I mean, we were in a press conference at one point, and I can't remember who was up there, but he's like, I can't even hear myself think, it's raining so loud out here. But, those golfers are prevailing out there. Hopefully we'll get some better weather as the week goes on. We're going to get a little bit more into that tournament later on in the show, but little teaser for you. Very exciting stuff to have all these golf tournaments happening local here in South Carolina, Tegan.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, the weather, definitely a little bit of a factor on and off today. I know that something the golfers were talking about yesterday as they were prepping was the wind being a really big factor. And that was pretty in play at the start of the day. Right now, weather-wise, it seems like the rain is more of an effect, but I say that and a breeze picks up as I'm talking. So I don't know, maybe there is more wind than we think out there. But I mean, a good handful of spectators out here today braving the elements, but yeah, it's a good day out here at the One Flight Myrtle Beach Classic, Kevin.
That's great to hear. I'm very excited. Rick?
Oh, Kevin, that's all you have? Wow. Hey, well,
I know, I was like, I'll toss to somebody else if they want to talk about it. I was like, Kevin, how about you? But it's okay. I can keep talking golf out here. I'm on the course. But Rick, I'll let you talk about golf.
Okay. Well, Tegan, I'm just admiring the, the scenery behind you. I really enjoy being out on a golf course. What are some of the things that Brooks Koepka has said about that golf course? I played several down there on the Grand Strand. I haven't played that one yet, but I've heard good reviews about it.
Yeah, he had a lot of good stuff to say yesterday after, he got the practice rounds in. He played with Lando Norris yesterday in the Celebrity Pro-Am. To him, the par fives on the course really stand out. And then also just the difficulty overall. I mean, Brooks has been an alternate for the last two signature events on the tour and just has not been able to get that spot in the actual field. So, getting back out here today, he was kind of chomping at the bit to see some real competition and actually be a part of it. But yeah, for him, the par fives really stood out. And then yesterday, Ryan Ruffles, the winner of the Q, which is that YouTube golf competition where one of those guys wins a spot to compete. Something Ruffles was pointing out was he really likes how long this course is. So for the guys out there competing who really do depend on their driver and think they play really well with that, this is a really good course for them, Rick.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to see some pretty good golf from those guys over the next few days. Now, producer Nick, did you say it's time for a break? Well, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more on Palmetto Sports Daily.
Welcome back into Palmetto Sports Daily. Some really exciting news coming out of North Carolina right now. A huge day for football, but specifically for flag football. We heard the announcement yesterday that the NCHSAA, the North Carolina School Athletic Association, voted to make North Carolina the 22nd state to sanction girls flag football as a varsity sport. Now, with that being said, some more exciting news came from there. David and Nicole Tepper made an announcement that the Tepper Foundation made a $1 million donation following that announcement to support this cause. Now, this is something that they've been passionate about for quite a long time. They've supported 154 North Carolina schools in creating flag football, and now 55 South Carolina schools as well. I spoke with the director of community relations about this. His name is Riley Fields. He was so passionate about this idea and about this goal. Here's what he had to say about how this is so much bigger than just football.
It's a unique space and time right now, I think, as girls are realizing that they can now have access and opportunity into the football ecosystem. And certainly, in the state of South Carolina, where you think about the football culture of the state and how it ties communities together, on Saturday, on Fridays, on Saturdays, and, on NFL Sundays, there's really, it's hard to find a unifier like that. And so for girls to have the opportunity to be part of an active participant in that ecosystem, how exciting is that? That's what energizes us, is seeing their excitement to be at the table and to have the opportunity to play and compete. And then, as we talked about earlier, just being part of a team that an experience they've never had before. So there's a lot to it that's more than just look at those girls playing flag football. It's so much bigger than that.
Oh, such an honor and a privilege to get to chat with Riley about this incredible movement that they're making. And wow, what a donation from the Tepper Foundation. All in all, I think they're have given almost $3 million to this sport. They really believe in this making a difference in young women's lives. I mean, Kevin, I know you're seeing that difference and that impact down there in the Low Country as well.
Yeah, and it's important, too, to get them started earlier and earlier at this point, because now, as we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, there's opportunities at the next level for these girls to get to go and keep playing flag football because, as we mentioned, Charleston Southern starting a flag football program. They're one of about 20 schools around the country that are having an NCAA-approved flag football program that's going to start play in the spring of 2028. So, more schools are going to start adding this sport. We've already seen a couple Power 4 schools, including Nebraska, add flag football to their schedule for the upcoming year. So there's going to be opportunities for these girls to go up to the college level and keep playing this and hopefully get scholarship money and have a chance to go to school and get an education because of playing flag football, which is a really cool thing, Rick.
So, Kevin, how close do you think we are to reaching a point where the majority of high schools here in South Carolina are offering flag football, and then we'll have region championships, state championships, because it seems like it's really catching fire and momentum around the country?
I'm not sure we're that close to it. I'd say if I had to guess when the high school league would make it an official sport, I'd say probably 4 to 5 years away before we're seeing actual, state championship games played. The interesting thing is going to be, at the college level, they're going to play this in the spring. I'm curious when they're going to play it at the high school level, if they're going to keep it a fall sport or if they would try to make it a spring sport to line up with the college level, because we've got so much going on in the spring already between lacrosse and soccer and softball on the girls' side. So I'm not sure if you're going to have the numbers if you put it in the spring. If you keep it in the fall, the only thing you're really going up against is volleyball. So I hope they would keep it as a fall sport and give more girls a chance to play, Tegan.
Yeah, I would hope so, too. I think putting it as a fall sport would be really helpful for those high schoolers who do want to be 2 or 3 sport athletes, playing in every single season. So, I think it's great to see the Panthers' investment in this, and I think it'll be really one of those sports that over the next few years we do continue to see grow, and not just here in South Carolina, but across the country. We're going to take a quick break here on Palmetto Sports Daily. We'll be right back. Welcome back into Palmetto Sports Daily. Again, I am out here at the Dunes Golf and Beach Club. We've got the 3rd annual One Flight Myrtle Beach Classic. And now there are some traditions that hold true with this tournament. One of those is actually for the volunteers who are holding up signs that usually say, "Quiet, please," but that is not the case here in Myrtle Beach. Instead, they're holding up signs that say, "Hush, y'all." I wish that I could show you. Oh, and the volunteer disappeared. He was right behind me at one point. But super cool signs just to, keep the gallery quiet as those golfers are out there hitting their shots. But Ella, I know you've been covering some golf. The tournament you've been at, do they have anything cool as the "Hush, y'all" signs?
Well, way to tee me up there, if you will, Tegan. That was very, very good. I don't have something quite as cool as that, but I will say I think Carmine might have something as cool as that. We were walking around the course yesterday, and we noticed there was quite a lot of former Panthers legends out there. Steve Smith Sr., Thomas Davis Sr., Jonathan Stewart, Mike Tolbert. So many guys were out there, but one of them specifically stood out to us, and that was Trey Boston. And I'll tell you why. It's because he had one of the most fabulous outfits I have seen on a golf course for a caddy. Now here is Carmine one-on-one with Trey about why he was there and why he was in that outfit.
Here at the driving range with Trey Boston, Panthers safety, but today in the caddy outfit. Trey, you got a lot of Panthers former stars here. Steve Smith Sr., you got Jonathan Stewart. What's your role here, though, to serve them, it seems like?
Well, no, listen, I serve everybody, but my job is to serve Mike Tolbert. Mike Tolbert is who I'm caddying for today. I have a stock yardage written down. You know, this is something we
Wow.
won't show the cameras. No, we won't show the cameras.
sorry.
Get away from me. But this is for you, bro. I want you to tell the people.
Now I will just describe it. I don't want to give too much away.
Describe it.
There are full hole-by-hole depictions, artistic renditions, I'd say,
Exactly what
yardages
clubs
marked.
we want to use.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like, we can't show the people, but we want them to know. You can describe again that this is impressive, right?
This is very impressive. Now, what led to this level of research to coach him up, Mr. Tolbert there?
One thing everybody knows about Trey Boston, I'm going to give 110%. I'm going to give my all in everything I do. He let me know what clubs he likes the best. I want to find ways to get him to those clubs so he can play his best game today.
And just like in football, though, Trey, you know it might get off script. What's
it
your
might.
plan if Mike Tolbert hits one astray, he doesn't hit it to that exact yardage? What's the communication going to be like?
Well, one thing everybody knows about Trey Boston is I'm a motivation guy. We're going to bring him back. We're going to humble the people. We're going to allow him to know, hey, I know the real you. I know the ball that you're capable of hitting. Have fun with the game. We're not professionals,
Right.
but hit a club that you know that you can hit. And that's what we're going to do today. That's why it's my job to get them going in the right direction, literally.
And that's very well said. Now, speaking of having fun, you got the whole get up here. You even got the matching shoes with the Panthers blue.
You can't get those.
How did this come about, and why have you embraced it so directly?
I wasn't just coming like the rest of the guys. I think they took this as a joke. And I took this as an opportunity to come out here and win. Who knows? With notes like this, I could be on tour. You know?
Yeah.
So for me, it's about showing out in your opportunity because you're only given so many opportunities in life. But what are you going to do with them when they present themselves?
That's very well put, and it could open the door for a next opportunity like you being on tour. Now, last one for you, Trey. If another Panthers player who's not Mike Tolbert asks you for advice,
Yes.
will you give them advice, or is it a competition between the Panthers? How are you treating that?
No. One thing is I'm a servant. I was called to be a servant. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to serve the people if I have to do it. My job is to make everybody around me better, no matter if I'm on their bag or not. But, of course, I want everybody to win. I just want my guy to win first.
Well, thank you for serving us with some great
you.
time, humor, and inspiration at the same time.
I appreciate you guys. Hey, keep pounding.
That's right. For Trey Boston, I'm Carmine Jame for Palmetto Sports.
Yeah, I like the fact that he had the old school caddy outfit like they wear at the Masters. So I think he may have a career as a caddy on tour. So props to Trey Boston. Okay, that's going to do it for PSD. Have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.